serve, and grow is what you can expect at the House of Reconciliation. Leadership, community, education, wellness, and participation is part of our plan for your spiritual growth and success. Family and faith is a core value for the House of Reconciliation, working to help people find their purpose. Want to make an impact in the kingdom? Ready to tap into your future? Meet us at the House Sundays with Pastor Reginald Campbell. www.houseofreconciliation.org.
I want to say, first of all, I'm going to look like I'm stuck. So then everybody be like, well, is he live? Is he frozen? Because every time we try to do a video, he mess it up. You know, something be happening. He mess it up. So, no, I want to thank all of you and welcome you in to the House of Reconciliation in the Greenville campus. And, of course, welcome everybody into 2024. And, yes, we are live. So, hopefully, the notification went out. We have put up some things that I thought were very interesting, career assessments by Daniel O'Neill Cohen, 30 years in the HR world, to share with us. So if you haven't seen them, please go back and look at them. The question came to me was, you know, where am I going to be tonight? And there's so many things that are flowing through my mind that I know we need. But what I want to do right now is give some credit, and I will do this again on this coming, our next live broadcast, to some of the top countries that watch. And so I meant to say this off camera, but I will say this on camera. I want to make sure that all of our, as many as possible, our top countries, that we start putting what we do in a diversified language so that they can get the slides in their language in their country if they're spending that kind of time to pay attention. Those top countries were Nigeria, Jamaica, the Philippines, Kenya, South Africa, Canada, India, Iran, and Liberty. Those were the top ones. We do have some that are in Vietnam, Great Britain, and of course we want to thank the upstate, but actually looking at the numbers at the mother campus at Greenwood and Spartanburg, Simpsonville, Malden, as well as Charlotte, Anderson, and I found out, and Clinton. The other day I spoke with some people today from Clinton, and I think those in New York who have liked, shared, and post, I ask that you continue to do that, because and I missed this part. Yes, I did. I got down to that. Share in the city of New York and to Connecticut that we are positioning ourselves to become not only a beacon in the city, but a beacon to the world. And we take that going into 2024 very seriously. And so we thank all of you who have come. Now, anybody that's within a 50-mile radius, I would just love for you to take one Sunday a month and come be a part of the Greenville campus and in service. And for those that are in the Greenwood, Clinton, Abbeville, McCormick area, and Lawrence County, to meet us at 210 Paisley Road, Hodges, South Carolina. And, of course, to our global connection and to our virtual campus. I am going to revamp the website because I want to pursue virtual campus new memberships this year. So I want to do that. So if you're a part of our virtual campus, I actually want to develop a campus leader or a campus pastor that can send out things specifically to you that will encourage you as we go through this 2024. And all of those that have supported the Greenville campus and those that are part of the virtual campus members that have supported the ministry financially, we have some things that we're going to do. We should be moving into our building here. I'm hoping soon, but we just got to get a couple things in line. The theme for this year, 2024, is I Choose Better. That is our theme for 2024, I Choose Better. And we're going to break down some of those things. And I don't want the men to forget, because we still have over 60% of men watching. We are going to do something for men this year. I don't know exactly. I'm waiting on the team to get back to me. So you will have updates on that coming soon. But when we just going to do a little bit of an introduction this evening, is going to start with this word for those who are writing, is the evolution. When I take the theme and say I choose better, I am putting myself in a position to evolve. Now that kind of becomes tough, because sometimes we like ourselves, and the part we like sometimes is the most unproductive part of our lives. So here is tonight's topic. Results aren't biased. For those that are writing, when you look at the results, you take away the emotions, you take away the feelings, you take away the knee-jerk reaction. When you look at the results, it tells you what presently exists. The thing most people never see is the opportunity to go beyond what they see and start building what they believe. So this is what I would say for the writings. We are not to focus on where we've been. Why? Where I've been is where I stand. It's where I have the capability of going. And what does that mean? Because sometimes your sight will have you looking at what you've done or what wasn't done or who should have done it or who didn't do it. And we put the responsibility on other things and situation and not understand the evolving to the evolution and results aren't biased. So it says, this is what we wrote. We're not to focus on where we've been. We should use our energy to see, believe where you're heading in a new direction. A new direction will not happen without a plan. A new direction will not happen without your commitment. A new direction will not happen without your involvement. Now, I know there are some people that will have an issue with that. You're getting a new direction mixed up with a disaster and a firestorm. A disaster and a firestorm in a room full of negativity does not create a new direction. It puts you under the scope of a repeat offender of chaos. So here's how it's said to some that are writing. Pain can control you, but can't change you. Pain can control you. This is why I say results aren't biased. Pain can control you. Your nightmares can control you. And what does that mean? It sounds like it's contradictory. No, when you are controlled, you can't think. You have just enslaved yourself. You don't have Galatians 5:1. Stand fast in the liberty. You don't have the mind of Christ. You don't have the zeal because you are stuck in pain. And pain always deal with situational issues. It relives nightmares. It relives horror stories. It relives rejection. That's what pain in this segment does. It is new direction, number 2, that change you. What does it do? It stimulates hope. But remember, hope without a strategy is just an illusion. A new direction brings a zeal. It brings an aspiration. Galatians 5:1, stand fast in the liberty wherewith who? Christ. Now, here's the thing for those who want to get ahead and appear to be smarter than others. I want you to start studying in the New Testament about literally the mind of Christ. New direction, that is what can change you. Here is a kicker. Emotions will keep you in the same cycle. Emotions will keep you in the same cycle. Emotions many times are like a hamster. You're moving. You're not going anywhere, and you're not moving forward. So there are certain activities, and I say this in the business realm. There are many people who are busy, but are not productive. When you are doing something, It should yield something. Remember the other time I thought it was one of the best classes of 2023 when we talked about money is, y'all forgot that quick, meaningless. Yeah, because you was the bougie one to come out, meaningless. They didn't like my diction, so they yeah, but see that's what I'm talking about. See, those are people you got to move on from. Listen, let me give you, because I know a lot of people are feeling really good and we're in the third day of the new year, but here's the truth. There are people who are just waiting to crash your world. There are people, there are things, there are situations that are waiting to pick a fight with your mind. Somebody said, well, I don't understand. Explain it to me. Jesus said to Peter, he said this 2 times. He said, Peter, Peter, which he spoke to the natural Peter and he spoke to the spirit of Peter and says, Satan has desired to what? So he's going to manipulate you in your natural and in your spiritual. He wants to play games in your mind. But see, we don't believe in evil anymore. We don't believe that people wake up because we don't think there are wars. And yet people, when you watch the 6 o'clock, 6:30 news, people are losing their lives. In fact, some people were at a funeral in one of the countries and they bombed the funeral. Now, let me show you how off base some people are. And I'm going to try to do this to memory. And I don't want to call that country because it is a country that watches a lot of the broadcasts. They actually had a statue or an image of Jesus. And at that image of Jesus, while it was dry and no rain, the toes of the statue of the image of Jesus started leaking water. People started to worship the statue of Jesus and started to take vessels and catch the water that was being leaked from the toes of Jesus. This is a true story. And so the investigators, someone who wants to go to the next level, started researching. And they had deemed the water coming from the toes of Jesus to be holy water and divine. And guess what it turned out to be? A clogged up toilet next door. Yes, true story. True story. A stopped up toilet next door caused the water to back up, and it was dripping from the statue that they said was the image of Jesus. And you must understand, as you begin to go forward, there are entities. We all have an adversary that's assigned to us. And once they penetrate your faith, they will try to destroy your base. And they're going to do it 2 ways, naturally and spiritual. Here is what we have to do. Remember, results aren't biased. Stop looking for perfection. Stop trying to be perfect. Stop judging people because they're not perfect. Give yourself a break from trying to be perfect. You'll never get there. You'll never get there. The word and the optimal word that's missing is you're making progress. Many people look at their failures and they measure themselves by where they've fallen, but they don't measure themselves by how far they've come. You missed the last shot. You didn't do the last proposal correct. You failed at the end and you quit. You don't use it as experience that turns into wisdom. You use it as an assault on yourself. Or you assault someone else because they didn't make 100. You have to understand, if you can get between 70 and 80, you've won. You're not borderline. You don't give yourself enough credit. And this is why you can't. Why I said to someone, why would God propel you to the next level and all you see is failure? Why would God increase you and you're not happy about what you have? What have we done with the seeds that he's given us? Now, most people can follow this part, coming from a place of conflict. Most of the time, it starts in the home. It starts in the family. It starts in the community. It starts in the school. You don't realize there's a pecking order. And people will put you down to put themselves ahead. And all they need on the job is 2 or 3 flunkies. He the man. Yeah, he out back smoking weed with you guys, but you want him to be the supervisor. You don't want somebody who wants to tell you how to skill up to get that job. You want somebody to give it to you so you can go do more of you. Here's what Steve Biko said, who was in South Africa. His name is Steve Biko. We're going to learn about a lot of people. Anybody know about Biko? I was actually listening to Plan for Change. That is a wonderful group to listen to about having peace in the world, and I think they have a beautiful program. And so Steve Biko was killed within 8 hours of being in police custody because he was saying that all people should be treated equally and fair. Anytime that you're trying to make progress in your life, you're going to face an adversary, physically and spiritually. This is what he said. And for those who I will revisit Unpacking Dreams in 2024, we will revisit Lie to Me. We're going to address that. We have to get all of this cleared up before we go into Easter. Because Easter is about recommitting your life, reorganizing your life, restructuring your life, not because it's Easter Sunday, but I have evidence that I can live. And my living is not equal to my race. My living is not equal to my finances. Because this is why Galatians said, stand fast in the liberty where Christ has set you free. But see, the problem is you went through the process of salvation, but you've never been freed from the corruption of the mind. This is why when I was battling with some things and staff and things that I was seeing other people doing, and I was asking God, I said, we got a problem and I don't understand. I need help. And it took about 3 or 4 weeks, and maybe I wasn't in tune, but he finally said, measure people to see if they have the mind of Christ. Not only that, to see if they're willing to serve God in spirit and in truth. Because the Bible says, for God is a spirit. Some people are serving a name, but not serving the Spirit of God. They're serving whatever you want to call it, an organization, a denomination, however you want to couch it. Because God never called us Christians. He called us believers. Going to a church every Sunday, every day of the week, does not make you a believer. That is traditional practice. We have to go through the evolution of breaking from the iceberg of what they told us we was to evolving what God has put in us. The seed is there. It is up to each one of us to cultivate it and to make sure it is properly prepared so it can germinate. And when something germinates, that means there's something that has to die for something to live. So here's what it says. Steve Biko said this: it's better to die for an idea that will live than to live for an ideal that will die. And so they had a song, Peter Gabriel and a lady from South Africa, that they sang this song. It's a group called Playing for Change, and they kept saying Biko, 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 and I said, I need to look it up. And this was a man who said, it's better to die for an ideal that will live. It goes back to unpacking dreams. What are your children's dreams? Because sometime your children will have a dream that you can help manifest and set the family into a new direction. The problem is, when you haven't been exposed, you will put your children in a pigeonhole. Because society will tell you, and society has a pecking order. If it doesn't look like them, it doesn't talk like them, it doesn't walk like them, it can't be controlled by them, then they will tag it, and throughout his or her history, they will be tagged. So everyone that is in their circle will see the perception and not the reality. Oh, I could take you there. Because what they told you, because you are feeble-minded and you're carnal-minded and you are small-minded, you're not exposed to how they want to weaken your seed. Anything that wants to change your name and change your God and change your culture and divide you cannot have your best interest at heart. Oh, God, I ain't trying to do that tonight because the children go to school in the morning. Because I was speaking with someone and they said, oh, I watch you. I said, I didn't even know you. Oh, no, we love it when you get ready to turn it up. It's like, woo, 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 Mufasa, woo, we go to church. We go to church. Lord have mercy. He about to set it on fire. I said, what? They said, yeah. I said, you? They said, yeah. They said, we watch you. I said, I never said. They said, you don't see us, but we see you. Yeah. And so I'm saying, because see, this is, and I ask God, there's a whole lot of people with themes and some of them got cliches. I am called to set the people of God free in their spirit so they can walk and talk what God has given them. Your gift in God has nothing to do with me. I am the ship that's in the ice. What do they call it? The icebreaker? I am the icebreaker. I am the modern day Joshua. That whatever God has called you to, you will position yourself and evolve to understand from the intellect and intelligence and to know who your innate inheritance is. You have your great-great-grandfather's dream. God have mercy. And he couldn't bring it to pass. Oh, God. But God put the seed in you. And you got to see it. And you got to see it in your faith and not in your sight. What would your future self say about your present self? Where's your focus? God, what have you left out in your inheritance? You made it about you, and God said, no, you are the seed that's going to birth this thing, and it's going to grow, and the roots are going to grow. So now I'm establishing another family tree. Are you capable of handling the volume that God has for you? Can your mind even anticipate the level that God has put in you? You have been knocked down, kicked down, left out, door shut, told you couldn't. But God says that all things are possible. Because you're looking in your sight, and I'm here to help stretch your faith. Oh, God, have mercy. And see what God has called you to be. Not see what they said you was, but have you asked God, who am I? And what dreams have you put in me? And what dreams have you put in my children? Your child can break the yoke in your family. Your child can start another generation that will not be dysfunctional and cuckoo like the other generation. Poverty is a spirit. You were born with the same opportunity. It is your culture and your environment that has hindered your ability to be creative. And what you're doing is trying to walk by flesh and not by faith. So it says here, Steve Biko said, it is better to die for an ideal that will live. What can your present children take from you that will inspire your great-great-grandchildren? Because nobody's going to come and take care of you. If you broke, they gonna be broke, and their children gonna be broke. So you're gonna be sitting around with no depends. You all don't believe we live in a society that plans to take away stuff. Some of you have these big backyards that hadn't planted nothing, talking about your grass. You better learn how to plant some fruit and some vegetables and pick your own garden. So Jesus says, so Steve Biko said, it's better to die for an ideal that will live than to live an ideal that will die. As we walk through this, are you planning to evolve? Are you planning to measure yourself based on results? And results are not biased. Or you want to set up a theme that say, you know what? Before I get angry and before I go off, I need to choose better. What does that mean? I need to pause, reset, and think. Because sometimes you're in the room with people who look like you, they're still playing to kill you. And sometimes they kill you by killing your children. This is a year not to be shortchanged and influenced. You can't believe everything you hear, and you can't believe everything you see. This is a time to ask God to guide your spirit so your spirit can guide your mind. This is not the time to think that you can get everything that God offers and you live within 50 miles. Because here's the point. You can see the chicken, but ain't nothing like when you can smell the chicken and get the chicken when it's hot. Barbecue lovers, any barbecue? People in here like barbecue? Warmed up barbecue don't taste like fresh barbecue. Come on. Because when it's hot and it's right off the grill. So I'm talking to those that's watching. You know, they always, woo. And some of them watching and ain't saying nothing. Okay. There's two things you need to do. You need to show up so you can learn. Then you can show out in your life. You can't show out and be dumb because you're going to get locked up. You need to come in. It's one Sunday a month. You expect a lot of me, but what can I expect of you? Now, I'm going to take this moment. I'm going to close. But I'm going to have to talk about some folks, okay? You're going to get your lips busted. This is your lip busting time. Okay, look at somebody and say, yeah, he did good. But now here come little Reggie. How many of you that are from Florida to New York to California to Texas. I need you to sow into the ministry, not for me, but for the building that I have to refurbish. And you can say what you want to say, but I'm going to tell you this. Ain't that many people done more for us, and anytime you're doing something for the world and the nation, you're going to get criticized. And I'm going to take what one of the marquee people that was assigned to earth from God and say, if anything that I have said have blessed you, I need you to sow $5 a month. Now, I'm going to talk to the ignorant people. I ain't talking to you. And I'm saying this is me. Because you ain't competent enough to be helped. Because you still get money, losing money, and can't make money. I'm talking to the one that's highly intellectual and intelligent, and you know I'm talking to you. Because you've been gleaning from me all year. Oh yeah. Don't turn me off now. Let me get in my feelings. I need you to help this campus in Greenville go from being a satellite to where we're going to a permanent fixture. And people can say whatever they want to say, but when have I told you something that was wrong? CJ, wake up. Get up here. Get up here. We finna do something. Stay live. Come on, wake up. Do y'all remember when y'all talked to me about having a child? You remember what I said to you? You ain't. I'm really gonna knock you out. Okay, come on up here. When I tell you something, and let me tell you how people talk about me, because I would tell people stuff, and most of y'all blow me off like, he just talking. I want you to tell me something that hadn't come true. Now, I'm not taking no title, no prophet. I told somebody this. I ain't gonna call nobody's name. I said, they gonna promote you. God gonna make them promote you. And they gonna create a position for me. Yeah, that's how y'all do me. But I will say they pay tithes to the ministry. And then and probably 5-7 years later, they had to come back to me and say, you know what? You were right. Now, I don't want no prophet role. I don't want no prophet title. I'll just tell you this. When God speaks to me and I speak to you, there's either you can take it or be pissed off. Because it ain't going to change. This wasn't even here. Am I right? Just say amen. Yeah. And y'all talked to me about all the stuff y'all did. Am I right? And I said, we're going to go into a covenant. Am I right? Amen. And I said, in a certain amount of days. Am I right? Amen. You're not going to lose this one. Am I right? Now, I ain't saying you want him now, but he here. How old are you?
16.
16 years. Thank you. And I told them right outside the church. And here's the whole point. Now, I'm going to talk about people. The wife didn't even want to come to the church. Because it was called Rosa Sharon Pentecostal Holiness Church of the Apostolic Faith. I know some apostolic people watching me. I see y'all. Because they'll slip up and say, we watch your broadcast. Really? Or should you be watching my broadcast? And the church wasn't bougie. Am I right, Deacon? And wasn't many people there. We looked like we were really in the country. But the anointing of God was there. So you had to leave the bigger fluid to come down to the matchbox that looked like it did in 1972 when they finally completed the church. Am I right? But what did God do there? He blessed you there. Now, I'm not going to put them on camera, but they millionaires now. I had a friend of mine, don't lie on God. That's why I tell people, I ain't telling God, God ain't never did nothing for me. Hate me if you want to. My daddy named Jesus, and him been good to me. Now, there was a couple times I was hungry. And I told him, I said, Lord, I don't know how you're going to do it, but I need you to help me do this. And you know what? God will take from somebody and bless you. I'm not arrogant. I am a person that walks by faith. And when I tell you God's going to do something, I ain't telling, because half time I won't remember. But see, you walk in evidence. So you might owe me some money. And since your family have been blessed, now am I lying? Am I lying? Just to holler, you ain't even got to say your name. Just, am I lying? No. Are you in a different place? How long you been under my ministry? If you count 2004, it's been 20 years because this is 2020. 18? 18 years. Yeah, y'all old people in the ministry. I'm not trying to get you to run here for me to talk to you because you will get your lips busted before you get your blessing. Because you got to turn around and you got to pull it together. And I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm talking to somebody. I need to see you Sunday morning for communion at 8 o'clock at 1427 Sweetie. I need you to be online because God's going to give us the word. Do what now? Launch. What did I say? Thank you. But I ain't the smartest one in the room now. Just because God used me don't mean he gave me an A. Oh, you can tell? You will get choked after class. God bless you. I'll see you soon.